Hello, my friends. Luke here for Game 2 of the Northstar tournament. Game 1, pulled out a minor victory, 11 points, feeling pretty good. I looked down at the score sheet, I got a Beastmen player. That's pretty cool because I've only played Beastmen a few times, so I'm excited for this. Roll up, I see the gentleman I'm playing is named Damon. He drove down from North Dakota. He's a fantastic guy, had a really good game with him, really polite. We chatted all weekend, really great guy, hope I get to play him again. The Beastmen were jerks, but he was fantastic. I could tell as he was pulling out his army right away that there were two giants in there, and I just started smiling because I knew it was going to be a fun game. So, game 2, here's what we got to do. It's kind of normal deployment, except on the short, we can't deploy within 9 inches of the short edges of the table, so we're just kind of compacted in the middle. Otherwise, it's a fortitude game. You do not lose if your fortitude breaks, but if your opponent breaks your fortitude, he gets 300 victory points. There's a minor objective to kill an enemy wizard, and that will get you 150 points as well. So this is the way fortitude should be played, not just auto lose. So I'm pretty excited about it. So the Beastmen have a group of warhounds, one giant, then a big old block of like 30-35 gore with a shaman in there. I think he's like a level 1 on death, maybe, if I remember correctly. Then behind them is another giant. He's got a big block, about the same size, 30-35 Bestigor with a Great Bray Shaman level 4 in there, so that he's not playing around. Then 3 Tuskor Chariots in front and 2 groups of Warhounds. I'm rocking out with the Doom Diver, 3 Trolls, a Ragnarok, Grimgor and his Black Orcs. Then I've got my Savages with the level 2 Shaman, BSB, my Goblin Chariot, and my Goblins, Fanatics, and Shaman, and Doom Diver on this side. So I'm feeling pretty decent. He's going to want to run at me. I think I can shoot at him for a while. So we go, I think I stole the first turn, and I take that back. He actually gave me the first turn. So this is when I realized my trolls are, I do this all the time, I stupidly placed them just barely outside of the general's Inspiring Presence range. Part of this is because I just leave the guy where he is on the movement tray, and I never reposition him. But when I'm looking at the unit, I'm like, okay, it can just barely reach. That's just laziness on my part, and I got to get better. Although, in my defense, part of it is because these models are so damn big with the orcs, and especially the black orcs, that they only fit in one location. So I've just got to get better at that. Anyway, the trolls fail stupidity on their own. Of course they do. They stumble forward. I keep the Ragnarok there behind. I swift reform the black orcs, just move them over a little bit, so now they're in the leadership range. I leave my Savages maybe like 1 inch forward and creep the Chariot out in front by the Arcane Ruins. At this point, for the terrain, you can see with that blue lettering, that's -1 leadership right by that building, within like 3 or 6 inches of the building. I think it's like a charnel pit, if I remember correctly. So my hope is that he'll be surrounding that, and I can just let him come to me, and he'll have the debuff there. On this flank, I move my goblins toward the little gap between the trees, and those are Arcane Ruins. My hope is that I can get my level 1 nearby, and he can just use the Arcane Ruins every turn to, every turn he's alive, to channel 4 dice and try to just feed my magic. Again, I'm rocking only a level 2 on the big wasp, but I was lucky to get hand and foot, which is exactly what I want. So we go to the magic phase. It's 6 dice to 5. I throw all 6 dice at the skillful spell, juiced up Foot of Gork, and I don't get it irresistible, so he throws the Dispel Scroll, which was very good because I was targeting his whole group with his BSB and those big gore. That was just a juicy, juicy target. But he dispels that. We go to shooting, and because those guys are all grouped up, those Doom Divers can hit 2 at once. First Doom Diver comes in, kills the Chariot in the middle, puts 3 wounds on the Chariot on the right. Second Doom Diver tries to finish it off. I get 3 hits, and I roll a 2, a 2, and a 1. So I don't finish it off. No panic ensues, because the BSB and the General are right by, so he has no trouble with that. I think he was rocking the standard of Discipline as well, so it was like a Leader 9 rerollable all around. Which, by the way, I hate that standard, but that's a whole other topic. We go to Beastmen turn 1. Everyone's moving up. I had a really blurry picture after movement, so you'll just have to kind of see where they are later. Everyone just moves forward. He wants to kill me. We go to the magic phase, and it's 9 dice to 5. He throws a whole bunch of dice at Pit of Shades, gets it irresistible, and thankfully it drifts off my Savages because, yeah, that's just going to kill most of those guys. I just absolutely hate those no-save spells, and the ones that target initiative just eat the orcs. It drifts off, so now it's sitting there. On the miscast, he ends up losing 1 level and forgets Pit. So I don't have to worry about that anymore, but it is still flying around. I'm going to have to remember to dispel it. His lower level caster tries to throw out the pendulum, but fails. We go to Orcs turn 2. I move my goblins up just enough, so I'm within range of the arcane ruins and can throw out the fanatics. One of them goes through the dogs and does only 1 wound, so not enough to trigger panic. The other one is right there by the forest. You have to ignore that arrow. He didn't actually go through the forest. I shot him out the other side because that would have killed him right away. So yeah, that's basically where they are. Hopefully I can get a couple shots off with my bows too. The Arachnarok declares a charge on the dogs because they're only leader 5 and he causes terror. I wanted to scare him off the board. Unfortunately, he passed his leadership and I didn't really... I forget, it was a long distance to make, and I failed it, which was fine. I wanted just the shot of tearing them. The trolls, even in the leadership bubble, fail stupidity, and they just kind of bumble forward. The black orcs just kind of move up, because now I want to try to rescue the trolls again. Maybe I'll kill out that giant. I'd be very happy to chop him up, and we'll see what happens. I throw the chariot in front of the savages to kind of block a little bit, but my hope is to get to the magic phase and move the savages. And that's exactly what we do here. It's 11 dice to 6, so I've got a whole bunch of dice for hand and foot. First thing is hand. I target the savages, and I want to move them. I cast the juiced up version on like 5 dice. It goes off, and I roll really poorly, which sucks. Because if you follow the blue arrow, that's where I wanted to put them. I had like right in there, I had a spot measured out where I wasn't going to be showing my flank to the giant. I wasn't going to be showing my flank to the gore. If they charged me, both of them would have probably been getting the -1 leadership, and the gore would have been in the forest, and I felt like I could have avoided the forest. So they wouldn't have been steadfast, -1 leadership, the savages are going to chew him a new one, and then he's going to break. I'm going to run him down. And that was my hope. I wanted this great thing to go off, but as you can see the dice, I rolled really poorly for the distance. So making the best out of it, I just move them behind the black orcs. We'll just kind of do this black orcs hit first, savages hit second thing. He's still got to come through the forest. Now I am exposed. I have an exposed flank there. He could make a long charge. I think he would need to roll a 9 or a 10 to get in on him. But you know, that's what you got. At least Grimgore's in there, so he could do some damage if they come in here. Then I throw my last 6 dice at foot, and he was able to dispel it, which is lucky him because I wanted to squish that unit again. In shooting, the Doom Diver, first one fires and kills the chariot with the wounds on it. Doesn't panic anybody. The second Doom Diver drifts off the other chariot and just lands in the Bestigor, killing 4 of them. 3 or 4 of them. I might have missed some amount of them. I didn't end up marching, so I was able to shoot with the bows and killed a couple. And this is where I don't remember what happened. I was trying to piece it together from the pictures. In this picture, I've killed a couple, and my fanatic is up there. But in the next picture, I've panicked the other group. The other fanatic's gone. He's actually had flown south at some point. So I don't know if I just removed him, but didn't move him far enough off the board or something. Something happened. One group of dogs is dead. One fanatic's still alive. And the other dogs are fleeing. Very weird. But all that happened on his turn, so I have no idea what happened. Charges are declared. Giant and the gore want to go into the black orcs, and that's a long charge. Like I said, it's like a 9 or a 10. His chariot, you can see, charges my chariot, and I fled because I don't need to get hit by there, and I'm right in the leadership bubble. First off, oh, he makes it. So this is going to be painful. You know, I got Grimgore in there, but he's only at level 1. Maybe I can go at his BSB. He's probably not going to challenge, but yeah, it's going to be painful. And then the giant makes it in well. So because the giant made it in, I decided I was going to throw Grimgore at him just to get him out of the way. Then I get back some combat res. I feel Grimgore can probably take him out. We'll see. We'll see what happens. So yeah, not what I want to happen. He's in the forest, so no steadfast, but or I'm sorry, is he no rank bonus in the forest? Whatever it is, he's in there. Oh, I guess back here, we go to the magic phase first. He throws 6 dice at Occam's Mind Razor. That's not going to be pleasant. And he does not get Irresistible Force, so I use my Dispel Scroll. Then he throws 1 dice at Melkoth's, and I dispel that with a ton of dice, and then use the last few dice to dispel the pit that was flying around, so I don't have to worry about that spell anymore. In close combat, the giant takes 4 wounds from Grimgor. Grimgor missed once. Believe it or not. Giant swings with his club, does 3 wounds on the unit. His BSB does 1 to me. I think I wasn't able to land anything on his BSB. Did kill the giant with the rest of the savages and got a bunch of combat res, but he beat me by a ton. He just had so much combat res coming in there, flanked and all that, and I broke, even with the BSB nearby. Well, I think it was like, he beat me by a ton, so I needed to roll really well, and I broke, and he ran me down. And then he got into the savages. So I feel good about the savage fight, but there goes my general and the black orcs. So that, yeah, I mean, that was just misplayed by me. I shouldn't have had them that exposed. So I will mark that down to learn from. I think I just took this picture to show that the Bestigor were moving up as well. Yeah, probably why. So, Orcs turn 3. The Arachnarok turns around to join the fight because now he's pissed. His Grimgor buddy died. Go to Magic. It's only 2-2 on the casting into spell dice, and I fail with trying to cast Hand of Gork to move the trolls back to help out. During shooting, the Doom Divers try to shoot a couple of dogs and miss. In close combat, believe it or not, we chop each other up and it's a draw. We both have BSBs, banners. He charged. I got more wounds to him, but it's a draw. So that's good. I didn't lose Frenzy, but it's bad because I was hoping I might, win and maybe make him break. Anyway, we'll see what happens. So on his turn, turn 3, the dogs go into the goblins, and I'm not really sure how that's going to go. I was thinking, they're not very good, but neither are the goblins, and they've been holding for me today, but who knows how they'll do in close combat. The Bestigor move up. His dogs charge my Doom Diver over here. I figured that was coming. During Magic, it's 8 dice to 8. I ended up getting 2 channels from the Arcane Ruins, which was nice. But is that right? One of these turns, I channeled the 3 6s, which is what happens where you actually end up taking a wound on your caster who does it. It might have been this turn. If not, it's next, and I might not have a picture to show it. But I thought that was pretty funny. It never happens for me. So he throws 6 dice at Occam's Mind Razor on, obviously, the big combat with the Gore. I end up dispelling it on 6, which is a miracle because I only have a level 2 versus his 4. He throws 2 dice at Melkoth and fails. So I got very lucky in that magic phase. I should have been staring down Occam's Mind Razor. Anyway, the goblins beat the dogs in close combat and run them down, which is unbelievable. The dogs on this side chomp up the Doom Diver. And we go to town on each other again, but this time I win. So I still keep Frenzy, but I've taken a decent amount of losses, and so has he. He actually kills my direct stuff attacks and kills my Shaman this time, so there goes a Lucky Shrunken Head. My 5-up ward is now only going to be a 6-up, and unfortunately I wasn't able to kill his BSB, so my BSB is going to have to move over and kill him. That's the problem, is my BSB isn't nearby, and I keep forgetting to move him over in combat. Now it's time to kill the savages. So here comes the Arachnarok, here comes the Chariot. Now it's time to help out the savages and kill the Gore. So in we go, easy charges. It's exactly what you'd expect. There's no magic phase to speak of. I'm down to 12 models now, but we do break them and run them down, which is better than killing them outright, because here's what happens. The Chariot chases and runs and hits the Bestigor, and where he was in the flank. So that's great, because I hit him, I'm going to do some impact hits, and that limits the amount of attacks back at me. The Arachnarok fails to hit the Bestigor, which is great, because I don't want him in there with them great weapon jerks. So now I'm just a roadblock, but he's got to deal with me on his turn. That's fantastic. The savages are really weakened, so I hope not to do anything with them except just provide a leadership bubble if I can, and weather the storm. On his turn, he throws 6 dice at Occam's and gets it, and so his Great Brave Shaman walks over and throws 3 attacks at the Chariot, rolls a 1 on one of them. So I do some impact hits, and my Chariot survives and doesn't break from combat, which is great. And it's sitting in the middle of the forest too, by the way. So I mean, it did not take the dangerous terrain, didn't have to worry about it. On my turn, I don't really do anything except, as you can see, the trolls are running off the board. They're getting the hell out of there. I moved the Arachnarok out of the way because I don't want anything to do with it. it's my turn, so we'll have to weather his turn as well. But on my turn, he punks the chariot, and then we basically call it. He was going to... He should have gotten to go again, but I think we called it because he just decided he wasn't going to go into the savages for some reason. Either that or we rolled the distance and he couldn't make it. And he wasn't going to throw the dogs into the savages because that would have just given him some combat res. So that was the game. I ended up winning, got 17 points. Let me double check. Yep, 17 points. And unfortunately, he only had 3. He just had so many points lost. And so it was a great win. I got really lucky on a couple clutch magic phases, and that worked out well for me. Otherwise, I mean, it was just fun. You know, I don't. Now that I think about it, I don't remember what happened to that other giant. Huh. I wonder where he went. Yeah. Apologies. I must have hit him with a Doom Diver or something like that. In fact, I'm starting to think that's what I did. I must have killed him with one of the Doom Divers, just not put it out there. That's weird. Well, you have to forgive me. Writing battle reports while at these tournaments is really, really difficult. Plus, only playing with 2.5 hours, there's just no time. But it was a win for me. I was feeling pretty good, so hopefully I can keep this up in the rest of the tournament. Thanks for watching, guys.